My dearest viewers, welcome once again to this special space where we uncover the most heartfelt and emotional words of Sheikh Hamdan. Today, we bring you a script filled with emotions, raw truth, and the kind of love story that goes far beyond what anyone could ever imagine. The topic is deeply personal, and the words resonate like an echo of the heart. Baby, I didn't believe what my friends said about you. These words are not just a confession but also a declaration of unwavering faith in love, trust, and destiny. Sheikh Hamdan begins his words with sincerity, expressing that when people around him began to whisper, when rumors began to swirl, he was faced with a choice: to believe the noise of the world or to believe the heartbeat he trusted the most. And he chose love. He chose her. He chose to look into the eyes of the woman who had captured his soul and let her truth outweigh 1,000 voices. For him, faith in her was stronger than doubt, and love was more powerful than the whispers of envy. He describes how every man in power faces not just external challenges but also battles of the heart. Friends, acquaintances, even strangers often think they know what is best. They speak, they warn, and sometimes they poison the air with suspicion. Yet, Sheikh Hamdan beautifully shares that the greatest strength of a man is to know when to silence the world and listen only to the rhythm of his beloved's heart. For in her silence, in her touch, in her gaze, he found more truth than in 100 spoken words. The prince admits that doubts did cross his mind, but they never stayed long. The love he had built with her was not fragile, it was unshakable. He paints the picture of moments when her smile alone dissolved every shadow of mistrust, when her laughter was enough to drown out the voices of gossip. It was as if destiny itself whispered in his ear, "She is yours, and she has always been yours." With powerful emotion, Sheikh Hamdan explains that trust is the foundation of love. Without it, even the most beautiful relationships collapse like castles made of sand. He says he could have chosen to listen to his friends, but then he would have lost the most precious gift God had ever given him. And losing her would have meant losing the very poetry of his soul. Love, for him, is not about perfection but about choosing someone again and again, despite what the world says. He recalls moments when people tried to test his loyalty, when they told him stories painted with lies, but instead of reacting, he smiled. Why? Because his heart knew better. His heart had already written her name in a script that no one could erase. And to erase her would be to erase himself. He tells us that in love, true courage lies not in fighting others but in standing firm against the doubts they plant. Sheikh Hamdan's words flow like poetry as he compares love to a sacred garden. In this garden, weeds will always try to grow: jealousy, rumors, envy. But if a man waters the garden with trust and faith, the flowers of love will bloom brighter than ever. He shares that his beloved was that garden, pure and delicate, and he was ready to protect it with his life. He knew that others may not understand, but their bond was not for others to understand, it was theirs alone. He also speaks with a gentle warning, telling his audience that relationships often fail not because of the two people in love, but because of the voices around them. Friends may mean well, or sometimes they may mean harm, but at the end of the day, it is only the two hearts that know the real story. And if those hearts trust each other, no storm can break them apart. The prince's voice trembles as he admits how much pain the whispers once caused him, but it also made him realize the depth of his feelings. If love survives doubt, it becomes indestructible. If love survives rumors, it becomes eternal. And if love survives the world, it becomes divine. His love, he says, has passed every test, and now it shines brighter than gold. With a heart full of emotion, Sheikh Hamdan confesses that every tear she shed because of false words carved a wound in his soul. Yet, he promised himself to never let her cry over lies again. He became her shield, her comfort, her safe place. He declares that she deserves nothing less than absolute trust, because a queen should never doubt her throne in his heart. He explains that the greatest honor of a man is to protect the dignity of the woman he loves. And for him, protecting her from words and doubts was as important as protecting her from storms. His words become a promise: as long as I live, no one's voice will ever rise above the truth of our love. He tells men to cherish their women, to never let rumors shake their trust. He tells women to know their worth and never let the world define their love. Because true love is built not on what people say but on what two souls know in their hearts. He closes with an unforgettable line, saying that he did not believe what his friends said because his heart already knew her better than their words ever could. His heart had lived with her, prayed with her, dreamed with her. And no one could rewrite the truth of love that God Himself had destined. And finally, with the most touching words, Sheikh Hamdan whispers to her, "Baby, the world spoke, but I chose silence. They doubted, but I chose faith. They tried to break us, but I chose you. And I will choose you, always, forever, and beyond time." After confessing that he never believed the rumors, Sheikh Hamdan reflects on the quiet strength of his queen. He remembers how she stood tall even when the world tried to break her spirit. Her silence was not weakness, but elegance. She never defended herself with words because her actions, her character, and her love were already the strongest defense. He says that this grace made him fall even deeper, for it takes courage to rise above noise and choose dignity instead of anger. He shares that he would often look at her and wonder how someone so pure could be the target of such jealousy. Then he realized, people do not throw stones at empty trees, they only aim at trees heavy with fruit. She carried beauty, love, and loyalty within her, and that was why the world tried to shake her roots.